Now Ayrshire Radio podcast presents Ayrshire Insights with Elliot Boyce.
Well, it's time for this week's Local Legend Spotlight, and we are celebrating an Ayrshire businesswoman whose passion for dogs, their well-being and their behaviour has not only built a thriving local brand, but has now earned national recognition. Our local legend this week is Katie Stephen. She's the owner of Dog Hound Boutique, so it's a specialist dog care business offering high-quality products, expert behavioural advice and support for pet owners across Ayrshire and beyond. Katie has just been named Behaviourist of the Year at the Scottish Prestige Awards, which is an absolute incredible achievement on its own, and next month she's heading to the National Pet Awards, where Dog Hound Boutique is a finalist in two categories, which is the Independent Pet Shop of the Year and Specialist Pet Service of the Year. Not bad for a local business born from passion, hard work and a real love for animals. I'm delighted to welcome today's local legend, Katie Stephen. Katie, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us. Can you come and do my marketing for me? That was an incredible intro.
Yeah, well, listen, it's all the hard work that you've been doing. But before we delve into that hard work, it is Sunday across Ayrshire. And although the dog walks are happening, the kettles are also on. So the big question is, are you a tomato sauce or brown sauce person?
Controversially, I am neither.
Oh, right, okay. That's you're sitting in the outside left position. What about a tea or a coffee?
Oh, it's got to be tea. Always tea for me.
Perfect. Thank goodness you like hot drinks. And the last one, what is your perfect Sunday morning roll after a long walk with the dogs?
Lately we've been heading down to the butcher on the high street to get proper sausages on a Friday afternoon to have them over the weekend, and it is just a simple, gorgeous treat. And especially if it's been a mucky, horrible dog walk, you just know you've got something good to come home to.
There we go. You can't beat a butcher's sausage to start it out. Coming up, we're going to talk about Dog Hound Boutique, the journey and what it means to be Scotland's Behaviourist of the Year.
You're listening to Ayrshire Insights with Elliot Boyce.
Now Ayrshire Radio.
I'm chatting with Katie Stephen, the owner of Dog Hound Boutique, one of Ayrshire's most trusted names in dog behaviour, care and premium pet products. Katie, let's start at the beginning. So where did you grow up?
I'm from a little town called Stonehaven in Aberdeenshire.
So have you always had dogs growing up, or did you just think, I love dogs, and after you were with family, you got your own?
It was a bit of a happy accident. I'd always wanted a dog growing up. It just wasn't right for our family. But when I met my partner about 10 years ago, his family were dog people, and it just clicked.
So there we go, right? So that's really interesting. And so growing up, you didn't have any dogs. You always wanted one, and only 10 years ago, when you met your partner, you actually got one. So from there, clearly you developed a passion and been very, very good at it. But before all that, what was your first job?
My very first job was a seasonal temp in Debenhams for the Christmas rush. That
must be, what do you think? Doing the Christmas rush in there, or dog walking? What was harder?
Oh, definitely Debenhams. This was before online shopping, so it was like Boxing Day sale madness. It was chaos. I remember getting hit over the head with a clothes hanger, and I looked up and it was our local councillor. People just lose their mind in the Boxing Day sales. It's probably the hardest job I've ever had.
Listen, the people in retail, especially at that time of year, do get it heavy, and especially then before we had the likes of the online shopping and stuff. Now, on to the dogs, right? So talk about it. How did you go then from 10 years ago to kind of first getting introduced to owning your own dog with your partner to now bringing it into a profession? So what happened and how did it click?
It was one of those things that fate just led the way at every single turn, and I've really just been along for the most wonderful, wonderful ride. We adopted Abby, our little rescue girl. She was about the 5th or 6th dog that we applied for. And every time it was, nope, that dog's just been snapped up. Nope, can't have that one. And we were heartbroken. So in the end, we said, okay, who have you got? Who can we meet? And they sent us this beautiful little story about Abby, who was struggling, who'd been rejected from her first home and was sitting in foster care. Would we like to go and meet her? And that's where it all began. It began with her, and she's just the most tenacious little character, and she inspired me genuinely to just learn more every single day. Every time we came across a problem or a struggle, when I started thinking about her long-term health, it just kept me going deeper and deeper. And through her, we met a community of like-minded people who wanted to know more but didn't know how to access that information. So it really became about how do we take our personal experience and make it accessible for everyone, make it somewhere that people can go to get that information without being overwhelmed by the internet, without getting unregulated content, to just sit down and have a human conversation when they're struggling. And that opened up a whole world that I didn't even know existed. And here we are 10 years later, and thankfully it's just still going strong.
Fantastic. Now, it's something that I think, a lot of people will own dogs. I'm a dog owner myself. A lot of people have got different breeds of dogs. And I think every single dog comes with its own unique challenges. How did you, so from learning about rescues, who again, especially with probably the challenging upbringing that the poor dogs had, and then obviously coming into a welcoming and loving home, how did you start looking at other breeds and start really understanding? Is it quite a kind of generic model across the board? And how did you really break through and go, right, I know how to control and work with dog behaviour?
For me, it was about getting to know dogs from a cellular level up, starting from the commonality, the things we all share, from the nervous system to the way that our primitive stress responses happen within the body, those things that we share with animals, we share with dogs. And then as you work out to the surface, to the actual behaviour, to the dog in front of you, it becomes more about environment, experience, breeding, all of these things that make them and us unique individuals. So it's a mix of fundamentals and then being able to say, okay, who is this? Why is this behaviour presenting? What can we put together that will be a bespoke package that helps them?
And that's really how it all comes together. Now, looking at it, we are the business show here on Now Ayrshire Radio. At what point did you go, do you know what? I've got a lot of knowledge here and skills that a lot of people don't have. There's clearly a need for it. What made you then go, do you know, I'm going to start this as a business? Did you fall into it, or how did it all begin as a business?
It began with one book that introduced me to a trainer and teacher that I still work with to this day, who I still admire to this day. Our ethos really aligns. She's always going deeper, doing new research, and I always feel the same. And from that book, I thought, okay, well, what about a course? What about 2 courses? What about a diploma? What about... And it just got bigger and bigger to the point where I was just like, okay, I can't keep doing this. I need to make the jump. And it was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying to take that jump from theory to actually taking someone out and working with them and knowing the trust that involves. And it took me a long time to pluck up the courage to actually do that. But once I did, there was just no going back.
Fantastic. Right, okay, so up next, we're going to really delve into that. We're going to find out the big wins, and I'm sure plenty of lessons that you've learned in your journey. Going to do it just after this.
Tune in live every Sunday from 10 a.m. for Ayrshire Insights with Elliot Boyce.
Only on Now Ayrshire Radio.
Now Ayrshire.
We are still with Katie Stephen, behaviourist, business owner and the heart behind Dog Hound Boutique. Now, Katie, we've spoken about the early days. Now I really want to talk about your journey in business and doing the specialist business that you do. What would you say, right? So you've worked with dogs, you took the jump, you then went into business, you were out working with different clients. Was there a moment, a real breakthrough with a dog, or a client story, or a milestone that you thought, do you know what? Right, I've done this is meant to be?
I actually think it was my first client, and it was a dog who I met through a social event. It was the same breed of dog that I have, and she was just this gorgeous little puppy, barely even a year old, and she'd been in 6 different homes. And after the meetup, I saw this post putting her up for adoption again, and the family was overwhelmed. They were struggling. The help just wasn't getting them where they needed to be. And I just felt compelled to reach out and say, will you work with me? I won't charge you. I just want to do this for you as a family. So we worked together, and at that point, the aim was just to get through. Get her to the point where she could be adopted, find her forever home. But a couple of weeks before Christmas, about 6 weeks after we'd started working together, the family called me and said, actually, we've come so far, we want to keep her.
Oh, fantastic.
And that was the point where I was like, yes, that's what I want to do. It's not necessarily just a business. It's about family. It's about connection. And it's about giving people the help when they think that there's no help left to be had.
Do you think a lot with it is, and not maybe that particular story, but in general, that the owners, the dog owners are people that they've really got to learn their behaviour in order to have a positive impact on the dog behaviour?
Oh, 100%. 100%. And that is the majority of the work that I do. And that's the big laugh of it all. I've spent so many years studying anatomy, physiology, behaviour, nutrition with a dog-centric focus. And then when I started working with people, I realised dogs are just dogs. They are a product of the environment. It's about us learning to understand them, to work with them, to set them up for success. So most of the work I do is at the human end of the lead, because as well, people tend not to reach out for help until they really are at the point of overwhelm. So by the time they get to me, so much of the work is just about rebuilding their confidence, their resilience, giving them the skills, and the dog's behaviour transforms when the environment transforms.
And all of that comes together to give the dog and the people, the family around the dog, a happy life.
That's the hope.
So from the dog side, and obviously working with dog behaviours, which clearly we'll touch on some of your awards and stuff shortly, but at what point have you got a premises that you work out of?
We do. We've got a little workshop tucked away on Avenue Street in Stewarton. We did have a premises down on the High Street, but as the business has evolved, we wanted to create more of a nook, somewhere that people could come and train and connect and actually sit and have a cup of tea and just talk out, feel confident about the decisions they were making, and just create a safe space for every dog owner in the community.
So great. I think it's a good thing. I mean, you're based in Stewarton, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, so in Stewarton, I mean, it's probably quite a rural community as well. There'll be a lot of dog owners, and probably having that community space is something that people can go. They might go out walks together. They might hear about some of the challenges, especially with some of the more complex breeds, etc., where they can maybe start learning off each other and then working with you to hone that behaviour and essentially give the dog a really happy life, but also them. Now, on to we've spoken about a lot of wins. You must have had a few challenges. What would you say your hardest moments been since starting the business?
I think any dog professional would share the sentiment that the hardest day is the day you lose one of the dogs, whether that's through long-term sickness or a sudden accident, whatever the situation, that is the hardest day. And it is something that really brings the community together. And that's when you realise how much support there is as a dog owner and how much connection and just how much dogs do bring to our lives.
Yeah, I mean, a dog can be, especially in the world, we talk about mental health a lot and people who may struggle, and a lot of people have dogs and other pets as well, which really help them with their mental health and give them that person or that animal to support them. I mean, a dog to somebody, and you'll know better than anyone, can be that real friend that looks out for them, would do anything for them, is totally besotted by them. It's something that they may not find with other humans.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think especially now when people are working from home more, ever since lockdown, we've had that huge cultural shift, and dogs are the thing that gets us out the door in the morning, connects us with other human beings. When your dog stops to say hi to another dog on the street or at the park, that's a moment of connection for the humans too. It's a chance to meet someone, to build friendships, build community. And so many of the dogs that we have trained have gone on to become support dogs for others in the community, and now are almost these little group leaders who show others how it can be done. And that's just wonderful to have that.
Fantastic, and a lot of hard work to get there. Now, the big question is, right, if I was to ask you and put you in the spot, what's your favourite breed?
I mean, every dog owner, every professional is going to be biased, aren't we? For me, my heart breed is always going to be a Podenco. And again, we didn't know that Abby was a Podenco when we applied for her. It was just such a happy accident that her temperament, her breed, her personality just clicked with everything that we are as a family. And since then, we've adopted Alba, who's also a Podenco. We've connected with other Podenco owners in the community because it is a very niche breed. So it's one of these, as soon as you see someone else with the same dog, you're crossing the street and you're going, oh my God, you've got Podenco. So it's another example of just how much dogs bring people together, because as soon as you've got a pod, you're part of a family.
Absolutely. Now, throughout your time, what would you say your biggest leap of faith has been so far?
Now, that's a hard one, because just who I am, I'm never going to sit still. I'm never going to sit back and just feel comfortable. Every single day is a leap of faith. And I think it's the same for my clients when we turn up for a session. We're always stepping into the unknown, going deeper, working harder. And that is what drives me to keep going, keep accumulating knowledge, keep on top of my game. At the moment, I've got my final exams for CPCN certification at the end of the month. And that's a big one. That's more advanced than we're even at the moment. That's a huge undertaking. And I'm just hoping and praying that I've got enough study hours between now and then to get the job done.
So talking about CPCN, is that to do with nutrition?
Yes. So what does
it stand for those who may not know?
It's Certified Professional Canine Nutritionist. So it's an international grade veterinary endorsed certification that will allow us to formulate completely bespoke diets down to the micro and macronutrient for any individual dog. So it's a lot of study, a lot of learning, and yeah, big leap of faith in myself.
Oh, fantastic, and really great to hear all the work that you're doing and continuing your professional development as well in order to really support the people around about you and your clients. Now, on to the awards. I mean, fantastic achievement, being named the Scottish Prestige Award for Behaviourist of the Year. How did it feel? That must have been such a proud moment for you, and I know there's some more categories that you're up for in the National Pet Awards, but how did that come about? Behaviourist of the Year, with a lot of people in your profession, how did you manage to win that award?
Truthfully, I don't know. Like I say, every day I take a leap of faith and just hope that people are behind me, and I truly believe that these awards, the finals at the National Pet Awards, these are reflections of the trust, the faith and the support that we have in the community. And I think it speaks so much about them as much as it does our hard work. It speaks to all the people who turn up every week and train and work and trust. And I'm just so thankful to every single one of them for putting us forward, for nominating us, for voting for us, and for doing it again and again.
Fantastic, an amazing achievement, and really good luck with the awards that you've got coming up.
Now streaming
Ayrshire Insights, hosted by Elliot Boyce.
This is Now Ayrshire Radio.
We are still with this week's local legend, Katie Stephen from Dog Hound Boutique. But first, it is time for Bargain of the Week. So listeners have been in touch earlier on, Katie. They've let us know what their Bargain of the Week is. So what is the best thing that you've managed to bag for a tenner or less?
And this is no secret, anyone who knows me knows I love Idle Hands and Dunlop. And they've been doing organic veggie boxes for £5. And the quality and the variety, I'm trying fruit and veg I've never even heard of in my life. And it's all very carefully sourced. They're working with local farmers. It's an incredible deal and only a £5.
Fantastic. Well, that is a good bargain of the week, a nice healthy bargain of the week for a Sunday as well. Right, okay, it's time to talk about your links to the community. So clearly you're a business that's fully ingrained in the community. You spoke about the boutique and the place that you've got being a community space for dog owners to come and to connect. What kind of links to the community have you got? What kind of things have you done locally in Stewarton that you want to shout about?
I would love to shout out to our community group, the Anxious Dogs Club. We meet once a week and it's a free community service for work in progress dogs. So by that, I mean dogs who are trying, who are training, who just need that time and space to put it all into practice. So we meet on a Friday or Saturday every weekend and we walk and we train together, and it just brings together people in a safe space where they can make mistakes. They can try something new, they can build their confidence, and they can find connection with other dogs who actually embrace the quirks, the wonkiness, all the things that people might feel embarrassed about because the dog's too boisterous or too sensitive or too anxious. When we put those dogs together, they actually bring out the best in each other. And it's absolutely free to attend, always has been, always will be, because we want it to be accessible. We want it to be a service that people can come along to, even if they've got 50p in the bank. It's just there all the time for anyone who needs it.
What would you say? So if people are listening just now and this might be totally hitting them, as a lot of dog owners it would, how do they get in touch and how do they come along?
Whatever suits you, you can contact us via social media, you can email, you can WhatsApp. Any communication that comes to the business comes to me. We're such a small company. So any way you reach out, you're getting straight to my desk.
So just search for Dog Hound Boutique and get in touch from there.
Perfect.
Right, okay, so we're obviously right ingrained in the Ayrshire community at Now Ayrshire Radio. What do you think of stations like us and the local connection that means to people like you and your customers?
I love it. I am such an old soul. I love good old-fashioned connection, actual human beings talking to each other, sharing experiences. And that's what radio has always been. It's two people passing each other on the motorway, listening to the same song. It's hearing about local events, about happenings that you had no idea were there. They get lost on social media. They get buried under all the controversy, and radio just brings them to life.
Yeah, brilliant. And that's what we're all about, being at the heart of the community at Now Ayrshire Radio. Now, around our studio, as you'll see, we've got our slogan, that local feeling. What does that local feeling really mean to you?
Oh, that's such a good question. Because obviously I lived in Aberdeenshire. I met my partner down in Essex. And then we came up to Ayrshire together, and we came up without knowing anyone here. We literally did not know a single person apart from the woman who sold her house to us. And what we've found here is just such a unique landscape that you are right at the heart of everything. You can go 20 minutes and be at the beach, half an hour, and you're right in the city centre. You can head to the hills. You can really build a weekend that suits you.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on. I think we're right in a really good area where you've got that option. I mean, you can be 20 minutes away from a major shopping centre. You can be into Ayr Town Centre. You can be at the beach, the hills, as you'd mentioned. There's so many places, especially for dog walks as well. Where's your favourite place in Ayrshire to go a walk with the dogs?
I mean, Ayrshire's so full of hidden gems, and we are still discovering so many every week. But we always go back to Neilston Pad. It's just a favourite for us. It's a favourite for the girls.
Neilston Pad, right? I'm actually going to take a wee note of this as well, I think. And if you're listening and you want that dog walk that you've wondered where to go, Neilston Park could be the place to go. And there's plenty of other places round about as well. Right, okay, so coming up, we are going to be playing a game called 5 Fast Ones. And we're going to be finding out what's next for Dog and Hound Boutique. I'm going to do it just after this.
This is the Ayrshire Insights Podcast with Elliot Boyce.
Now Ayrshire.
If you've just joined us, I'm chatting with Katie Stephen, the owner of Dog and Hound Boutique, and it's time for 5 Fast Ones. So this is quick fire questions, Katie. Don't think about it, just shout out the first thing that comes to your head. Are you ready to play 5 Fast Ones?
Let's do it.
Right, favourite takeaway?
Mina's Indian in Stewarton.
A song that always lifts your mood?
I'm an emo kid at heart, so I'm going to say anything from My Chemical Romance's early albums.
Best thing about Ayrshire?
It's got to be the dog walks.
Weirdest moment at work?
Someone asked me if I could order in a light bulb.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, someone walked in holding a very, very large, strip light bulb and said, "Can you order me one of these?" And I couldn't think what to say except, this is a dog shop. Should we convince them? Yes.
And the last one.
Star.
Who plays you in the movie of your life?
I mean, it's utterly offensive. She's a terrible actress, but people always say Kristen Stewart.
There we go. So that's going to be the actress for you. So that is beautiful. You played 5 Fast Ones. Every week we're going to get our guests to get involved with that. Now, Katie, let's talk about the future. So what is next for you and Dog and Hound Boutique?
We've got a big event day tomorrow that we're busy prepping for. We've got a portrait artist coming down to the workshop who's going to be doing live painting of the dogs throughout the day. After that, it's hunkering down for exams for the next couple of weeks. And after that, who knows?
Fantastic. Well, listen, it's great to hear about the stories, and you've obviously got your awards coming up as well. You're nominated for Independent Pet Shop of the Year and Specialist Pet Service of the Year. Very, very good luck at that. How are you feeling about it?
Terrified. So anxious. I'm the last person to toot my own horn. I hate doing marketing. I hate doing self-promotion. So obviously it'll be a wonderful night. It's always a good excuse to get dressed up. But yeah, it does go against the grain a little bit.
Well, listen, all the very best for it. Yourself dressed up, and hopefully you come away with more awards. Now, before we finish things up today, have you got any kind of shout outs and thanks to anybody that's been involved in your journey?
Oh God, where to start? All of the Anxious Dogs Club, all of the people who put their faith in me in the early days, that came along to training, who still come back all these years later, everyone who supports the shop, just the whole community that's behind us. They really do mean everything to us.
Yeah, fantastic. And a really great community, and really looking forward to hearing more about the great work that you're doing at Dog and Hound Boutique. Katie, a massive thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a real pleasure.
This is the Ayrshire Insights Podcast.
Never miss an episode. Hit subscribe now.